friends, welcome to my channel. Today is 1st of July and happy Doctor's Day to you all. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing it. I simplify videos on topics related to MDS and also on general dentistry. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook where I post daily image-based questions for your MDS preparation. It will help you strengthen the concept and remember things easily. To get a free PDF of any of my video lectures, you can get it from my Telegram channel. All the links are in the description box below. So now, any further ado, let's get started. Guys, we have already studied 4 important syndromes which are related with craniosynostosis, right? This is our part 2 in which we are going to study these 3 syndromes which are chondroectodermal dysplasia, cleidocranial dysplasia and trichodento-osseous syndrome. I have given the link of the other 2 videos related to the craniosynostosis syndrome in the description box below. So do check it out and don't forget, okay? Chondroectodermal dysplasia, it is also known as Ellis-Van Creveld disease, okay? The other name of which is very important, okay? And it is inherited as autosomal recessive. Now guys, it is easy to remember the syndromes when you remember the names and get the meaning of it exactly, okay? So here what do we have? Chondroectodermal dysplasia. So इस syndrome में क्या होता होगा? Okay, something related to the cartilage and the structures which are developing from ectoderm, right? So yes. So the child which receives the abnormal gene from each parent and the defect result in a problem that occurs when the cartilage converts to bone while growing, okay? So basically the defect occurs during the growth of the child, okay, when the cartilage is getting converted into bone. There are 3 peculiarity of this syndrome. One is acromesomelia, okay, which means short limb dwarfism. The extremities like hands and legs would be very short in such kind of patients, and congenital heart defects and partial hair lip. These 3 defects will be seen in chondroectodermal dysplasia patient, okay. Now the clinical features: post-axial polydactyly in the hands, which means an extra finger lateral to the normal 5th finger. It is a consistent finding, okay. Then bone dysplasia. It is also characterized by acromesomelia, as I said, the short limb, right? Relative shortening of the distal and middle segments, and it may interfere with the ability to make a tight fist. So what you have to remember from this point is there is a bone dysplasia, okay, which is characterized by acromesomelia, and there is deformity of knees, nails and fingers and toes are dysplastic because they are of ectodermal origin, right? Then congenital heart defects are also seen. In this picture you can see the polydactyly, right, in the hands and in the feet as well, right? Oral manifestation of this syndrome are teeth are deficient in numbers, and those which develop, they are very small, rudimentary, conical, spaced and irregular in position. Permanent dentition is more likely to be defective than the deciduous one. Abnormally short upper lip and partial hair lip. In the radiographic features, here you can see the absence of teeth in the anterior part of maxilla and mandible, okay? And this syndrome shows oral defects mainly in the permanent dentition than the primary dentition, right? Here the other radiographic features, you can see the heart defect very clearly and polydactyly, right? Short stature, okay? Acromesomelia, right? And the defects related to the bones, which we can see over here. Now the second syndrome is cleidocranial dysplasia, which is also known as cleidocranial dysostosis, Marie and Santon disease, or craniocleidodystosis, okay? These 3 names. Marie-Santon disease, you have to remember it is quite different than its original name, right? Now, so क्या होता होगा इस syndrome में? cleido and cranial, which means deformities related with cleido means what? Clavicle, and cranial bones. Okay. So, what are the etiology? Hereditary or genetic? Genetic, there is a defect in CBFA1 gene chromosome. Guys, this is very, very important for your MCQs. Okay, CBFA1 gene related with cleidocranial dysplasia. Do note it down. In the clinical features, it affects both men and women equally. It affects skull, clavicle, and dentition. Shoulders meet in midline, as you can see in the picture. Okay, and brachycephalic head, which means skull width gets increased. Frontanels often remain open, or at least they exhibit delayed closing, and for this reason the head tends to be larger. Okay, because of this we see brachiocephalic head. Multiple Wormian bones are also present. Lacrimal and zygomatic bone are underdeveloped, and sagittal sutures characteristically sunken, giving skull flat appearance. Okay, here also you can see quite a flat appearance of the skull. And in this picture you can see the numerous unerupted teeth, which is seen in patient with cleidocranial dysplasia. Okay, and yes, depressed nasal bridge is also seen. Oral manifestations include micrognathia, which means smaller jaw. Maxilla is smaller than normal, which makes it prognathic appearance. Okay, mandible is normal, but maxilla is underdeveloped, because of which the appearance which develops is prognathism. Okay, prolonged retention of primary dentition and delayed eruption of permanent teeth. Guys, ये चीज़ें MCQ में बहुत आती हैं, ठीक है, कि which syndrome is associated with prolonged retention of primary dentition and delayed eruption of permanent teeth. So cleidocranial is one of such syndrome. Then high narrow arched palate. Hypoplasia of enamel is also seen. Here in the radiographic features you can see the sagittal suture. Okay, and here in this chest radiograph you see the absence of clavicles, right? Also notice the flat skull appearance. Okay, brachycephalic head. Here you can see the multiple supernumerary teeth which are found with cleidocranial dysplasia. Okay, and here you can see the underdeveloped maxilla. Okay, and the mandible has grown normally, but still it will give the prognathic appearance. Okay, mandible is quite ahead of our maxilla, so it will give prognathic appearance. Now the last syndrome of this video lecture is trichodento-osseous syndrome. It is inherited as autosomal dominant. Inheritance pattern you should keep in mind. Okay, and tricho, dento and osseous. So this is a very easy trick to remember the symptoms of any syndrome. Okay, tricho means related to hair, dento means related to teeth, and osseous means related to our bones. So it affects hair, teeth and bones. Now what happens in hair? Hair are usually kinky or curled hair at birth, and yellow-brown discolored teeth, as you can see in the image. The teeth display hypocalcification or hypermaturation. Enamel defect is associated with enamel hypoplasia. Sometimes it creates confusion with amelogenesis imperfecta also, right? Because of its this characteristic appearance. And osseous changes happen later in the adulthood, but these two features can be seen early in the life. Bone sclerosis may be a variable feature among the members of the affected family. It is commonly reported in areas such as the base of the skull, mastoid, and zones of provisional calcification in the long bones. So basically what happens, bone sclerosis is seen. Okay, Here you can see in the long bones, okay, the bone sclerosis, the extra bone density you see, that is the bone sclerosis it is showing, and also in the base of the skull and the mastoid area, right? So guys, this was all about syndromes. I hope you have enjoyed it and gained a lot of knowledge, and I hope it would be simple for you now to remember the syndromes and to memorize. But yes, you need to revise it again and again. Don't forget to like, share it with your friends, and do subscribe. Thank you so much.